Welcome back for the next half an hour. Get on the phone and give Andrea Jenkins a call, 03444991000. Nothing is off the table. You can talk about whatever you want, but I'm going to put forward a few ideas that you might be interested in discussing with Reform UK's excellent Mayor of Greater Lincolnshire. But first of all, a warm welcome to Andrea Jenkins, Dame Andrea Jenkins. Hello, Andrea.
Evening, Kevin. How are you doing?
I'm all right. What do you think about... So we call Andrea. So I had this other idea. What do you think? Dial a dame. What do you think?
I thought it was hilarious, actually. Very catchy, isn't it?
Dial a dame, yeah. So dial Dame Andrea Jenkins with any questions you want. Now, I've got a few ideas, Andrea. I think we should talk about a story that we've been covering now for a week or so, and I think it's a growing concern around the country. That is asylum seeker hotels and their proximity to schools. More and more parents extremely worried about that. I think we should think about talking about the rape gang inquiry. Folks, so write all this down because you might want to call Andrea about it. I think we should talk about the rape gang public inquiry that never was, never is, and looks increasingly as if it never will be. I think this government is really letting down the thousands of poor victims of the worst sexual scandal in British history. I also think Robert Jenrick's come out and said he wants to ban the burqa. I think it's time that, you know, we should talk about this. What's your view on banning the burqa, Andrea?
Well, I came out supporting Boris with his letterbox article all those years ago, and even saying back then. Do you remember Westmonster, the online magazine that was launched with Aaron Banks, etc.?
I do, yeah.
Yeah, I did an article back then saying that I supported it. So, yeah, because to me it's about it's the security aspect. I mean, what people do in their own home, that's up to them, isn't it? But and it's, you know, we are a westernized country, and you know, we should be treating women and men the same.
Yeah, and I think it's always
aspect I find deeply concerning.
Yeah. Also, I think it is the subjugation of women. I think it is the reduction of women to second-class status.
Well, look at Afghanistan. I mean, when you see the pictures of what it was like there previously, and how women lived, wasn't it?
You know, they've come up. You know, in Afghanistan, Andrew, they've come up with a new burqa. You know, they've decided that being able to see both of a woman's eyes is too sexually provocative.
Really?
So there's a new one with only one eye, which is unbelievable. But I think, you know, I'm uncomfortable about telling any woman what they should and shouldn't wear.
Absolutely.
But I'm not convinced. You know, women say, well, we decide to wear these burqas. It's like, well, do you really? And what do they signify? They signify that women are less important than men. Yeah. I just don't like the whole idea. But anyway, we could discuss this, folks. Call Andrea, 03444991000. And the last one that I think might be worth talking about is the Le Farce, as they now call it, of the one-in, one-out scheme. 46 migrants so far since early August returned to France. 18 have come back to Britain from France, and today, or last night, we learned the most ridiculous story that one of the migrants that we sent back to France on the one-in, one-out scheme has returned to Britain on an illegal small boat. You couldn't make this stuff up. So the ongoing migrant crisis...
I bet it's not the first, actually, do you?
I wouldn't. I bet he won't be the last, Andrea, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, well, look, you said you'd take calls. You have been warned. This is one of our great callers, a great lady, actually, who I think you'll like, and she speaks a lot of sense. So, Georgina, hello.
Good evening. Good evening.
Hello. Welcome to the show. Always a pleasure to have you on, Georgina. And Dame Andrea Jenkins is here. What would you like to ask her?
Well, firstly, a very good evening, Dame Andrea. I'm delighted to talk to you. Myself, as well as the rest of the country, are very, very worried about the illegal migration situation. We've heard a lot of talk from the Labour Party. I think they are dealing with a lot of moral cowardice here. There's a lot of talk and nothing's happening. When the Reform UK Party actually do get into power, are you definitely going to send these illegal migrants back, the ones that are already here and the ones that come over?
Look, I think we've come out with the strongest policy of anybody. And look, what Reform are doing, we are learning the lessons of the Labour and the Conservatives, that the most important thing is to deliver for the public. So please rest assured, we've got strong policies and we will send people back. And we want a kind of system which is based on, you know, the skills needs of our country. If people's coming to set a business up, brilliant. But this illegal migration has to stop. And we've got to stop this benefit culture. We've got to stop putting people in hotels. We've already said that we will have a quick turnaround and house people in a military base, all locked up, only in a short-term thing, as we process and then send them straight back.
Well,
so
that's
literally, we're talking 1 or 2 weeks, and then process, send people straight back. But the most important thing that we will do is stop that pull to Britain, because we've got a big sign over our heads in Britain saying, everybody come, it's all freebies for everybody. Free all you can eat, really, buffet, isn't it? So that's the thing, we need to stop that.
Well, it's actually turned into a disunited kingdom now. Well, you know, we've got women and children terrified to go out of their homes. It's getting to a state where we can't walk about our own country in safety, and something has to be done, Andrea.
And that's why you've got all these outpouring of flags, because this is people saying, I've had enough. Don't forget about us Brits. That's what this is about. And, you know, we are fully behind you. And it is soft touch Britain. That will end when Reform gets into government.
Well, that's wonderful to hear, because we as a nation have been forgotten and we have been put at the bottom of the pile when we should be prioritised before any illegal migrants.
Look, even in Lincolnshire, I've got to put British people at the top of the queue. And I got lambasted a lot by the left-wing newspapers last week because, you know, the county spends £1 million on ESOL, you know, learning English as a foreign language. And yet literacy is at an all-time low for Brits. 8.5 million people haven't even got the reading level of a 12-year-old. So I said this money should be going on our own folk to actually help them have that chance in life. So, you know, what I'm doing in Lincolnshire is really a microcosm of what we could potentially do in government.
Andrea, all taxpayers' money at the moment, the way the country is, should be spent on the better for our own and our own country. When we have money to spare, then we can be benevolent to other countries. Until then, we've got to concentrate on our own.
Tell you what, Georgina, stay where you are. I don't know, and you, of course, Andrew. I don't know if you just heard the story that Philip Kisley and I just covered, talking about our generosity to foreign countries with the foreign aid scheme. We've just pledged 100 and, well, check this out, Georgina. I want to get both your reactions to this. The Foreign Office has just pledged £111 million to the Accelerating Family Planning in Pakistan programme. That essentially is £111 million that British taxpayers are funding for condoms.
Oh, my God.
For contraceptives for Pakistan. What do you make of that, Georgina?
Well, wouldn't that be better spent on the...
almost anything, I think, but go on.
Yeah, absolutely.
On the better for our veterans and our elderly, wouldn't that be better spent on our children? Wouldn't that be better spent for our hospitals and our police and our other services that have been depleted? It's just absolutely ridiculous, this, Kevin. And honestly, it gets worse by the day. We need some radical changes with the government and the Home Office here. This is absolutely monstrous, and we shouldn't be taking it. We should never have given the socialists our checkbook, because they have run this country into the ground, and I'm totally sick of it.
What do you think about that, the Condon plan, £111 million for contraception to Pakistan, paid for by us? What do you think about that, Andrea?
Look, I mean, I think it's ludicrous. And if anything, it's actually showing that we give freebies right in the source country, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
It's ridiculous,
right.
Isn't it? Yeah, it's saying, look, come over here. This is just the first thing we'll give you what's free.
I don't want to make light. I don't want to undermine the importance of family planning in Pakistan. But you know, with all due respect to Pakistan, that's an issue for Pakistan. Why are we paying for it? Unbelievable.
But also, on the global index, they seem to be a country what's quite high in corruption, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, exactly.
They've got to get their own house in order before we send money there. Because, I mean, why are we sending money there anyway? But it's not going to go to the people anyways.
I think that's half the problem with foreign aid. You know, we send over 20 million, 30 million.
I always say trade, not aid.
Yeah, trade, not aid. Very good phrase. Very good phrase.
To be self-sufficient, to get themselves out of poverty. I've always said that.
Absolutely. Good. Well said. Georgina, always a pleasure to have you on the show. Thank you once again for an excellent call. Let's move on to Karen in Bournemouth. Karen wants to talk about the rape or the grooming gang inquiry, the rape gang inquiry. Karen, don't you think it's a scandal the way this entire public inquiry that the nation demanded, that the victims of this scourge deserve the justice that they deserve? Don't you think it's a scandal that it's another scandal that it's falling apart at the seams?
No, I think that's exactly what Keir Starmer wants. He'll be bouncing around full of joy at the moment, because it's breaking down. What he's doing is he's dividing people in every single section. You know, it wasn't that long ago that we pretty much all got on. And now all of a sudden everything's divided down in race and everything else. And Keir Starmer is very happy about all of this. And the more he can do it, the happier he feels.
Do you know, I agree with you there, because the Labour Party, they always used to divide people by class, didn't they? And they're also dividing people now in this way. No, I completely agree with you.
Andrea, is it, I mean, I don't wish to belittle the rape gang scandal. I was a victim myself and escaped, and I know exactly why they don't want to social worker and things. But I get the feeling that it's not just that. We've got the judiciary letting rapists off. We've got the education department brainwashing and damaging the children. And I think that they're trying to turn us into an Islamic state.
Look, I mean, I think it is about votes, actually, with the Labour Party. You know, if you look at, the Muslim population in Britain, they're more likely to vote Labour. That isn't a racist quote, that's a fact, isn't it, Kevin?
Well, yeah.
The Labour Party. And so I think a lot of this is Starmer and the Labour Party do not want to upset their voters. And so the quicker this can be moved on as possible in their eyes, but they are forgetting about the victims. And it's gone on too many years as it is, consecutive governments. It's gone on too long. I mean, there was an inquiry, wasn't there, a report made under the Conservatives, but then we didn't quite start at the time enacting that report. So more could have been done then. But the complete disregard of those victims, it's sickening, and it's a stain on our country's history. I mean, for this to have gone on for so long, and now for people to be resigning, the only person who should be resigning is actually Jess Phillips.
Yeah, I think her behaviour's been absolutely reprehensible, and
She's like Teflon, though, isn't she, Kevin? She's
well,
like
she is and she isn't. The thing is, it's quite clear. My guess is, my prediction is that she might be reshuffled to a different position, so it doesn't look like she's getting sacked. But when you've got 4 victims who were involved in the public inquiry, they were on a thing called the Victims Panel, saying we're not going to carry on if this woman, Jess Phillips, is still the safeguarding minister. When you have 4 victims saying she's calling us a liar, which is what she effectively did, her position, I think, becomes untenable. Do you agree with that, Karen?
I don't think he'll get rid of her, because It's a very useful shield for him.
Yeah,
Keep those lot divided. And now he's got the victims groups divided.
Yeah, I'll tell you what Keir Starmer doubtless likes about Jess Phillips. Disappointingly, she's turned out to be one of those lackey ministers who'll do anything to keep the boss happy. We thought she had a good track record on looking after the welfare of the victims of sexual abuse, particularly the child victims.
She used to work for a domestic abuse charity.
Yeah, she had a good record.
I thought it would have been different with her, but...
Yeah, exactly. She spoiled her record, her track record. She absolutely spoiled it, don't you think?
Oh, completely. And I mean, I've never been a fan of Jess Phillips. She's, in my book, she's got very arrogant. She's a person who believes her own hype, the way the BBC and Lefty build her up. But no, I was hugely disappointed because I did think she appeared to have lots of compassion, having worked in that sector. But I think she's letting a lot of people down.
Yeah, Karen, very good to talk to you. Thank you very much for an excellent call, and please keep in touch. Karen in Bournemouth there. I'll tell you what, Clive in Somerset, stay where you are. We better go to break now, and when we come back, we will speak to Clive in Somerset. So it's call Dame Andrea Jenkins, 03444991000. Anything you like, but just get on the phone and she'll answer your questions. So we'll go to break now, back in a moment.